What's up, everyone? I'm going to demonstrate how to use this HPC punch machine to manually cut some mailbox keys. Now, the purpose of this video is that there's no punch card for these H20 mailbox keys, these Hudson mailbox keys. So I was kind of in a bind. I've got to cut a good amount of them for some post offices around the area, and I'm just seeing what I had in my disposal to get this done. So what I found in the box of cards is that there's actually a micrometer card. Notice it says left hand side. That's the orientation of the key. But it seemed to me like you could just get the space and depth numbers in millimeters and get the key cut. So I went ahead and gave this a try. It works really good. I'm going to show the key code itself, the depths, and how I got the spacing and depth numbers. Blockcodes.com. I'll put a picture, that way everyone can see the code we're cutting. This is just a test key, so it's not a customer's or anything. Now, what I am doing here is I'm going to read off the cut number. I'm going to show you how we're spacing it out, how we're getting our proper depth for that cut. Now, today's cuts are 21542. That's 21542. So what I'll do is I'm going to punch out the first number here, and then I'll show you how that looks on both the card and the key. I'm using the 1011 cutter, or 1011 punch. For this example, I've tried the other ones. This one seems to work best for the mailbox keys. Now, our first cut, number one cut, is at 4.85 millimeters for its spacing. The cut is a number 2, which is at 6.45 millimeters. So 4.85 and 6.45. So let me go ahead and get this dialed in, and then I'll show you what we're dealing with here. Alrighty, so this is what our first cut's going to look like here. Now, got the number 4, our increments of 2. Now, you're not going to get exact tenth of a millimeter there, but these keys have enough tolerance to where, you just want to be close enough there. So 4.85, that big center line is 5. We're looking to go one line, a little bit less than one line, a little bit more than one line beneath that 5 dash. And then our depth is 6.45. So those are in increments of 5, as we can see. So I'm going about one line past 6.5. And then we'll go ahead and punch out our first cut there. What I've noticed on this punch machine is that, especially on these smaller keys, you kind of want to hold the depth dial. It'll kind of move back and forth if you don't. So there's our first cut. We'll go on to the second one, which is the spacing of 8.05 and the depth of 6.90. So 8.05, we're at the 8th, right past the 8 line there, and at a depth 6.90. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at what that looks like for our number 2 cut. 8.05 for our spacing, 6.90 for our depth. Let's go ahead and punch that one out here. Now that was a number 1 cut. It's also usually top of the blank. I still cut the number 1 cuts because if you're not exact, you can usually see a tumbler mark on there. You know, it can get creative with a file and your impressioning skills. So I always cut those number 1s. It leaves a noticeable indentation on the key to track where you're at and whatnot. So we'll go on to our third spacing, which is 11.20. Go 1 line past the 11, which is at a depth of 510. This is a 5 cut, so it'll be our deepest cut. Alright, so here's what the third one's going to look like. 11.20, 1 past the 11 mark, and then 5.10, 2 dashes after the 5. Go ahead and get that one punched out. Alright, so our fourth cut is a 4. We're looking at a spacing of 14.40. And then a depth of 5.55. This one's pretty straightforward. 14.0, there's the 14, 2 dashes, increments of 2. 5.5 right on the line there. Go ahead and get that one punched out here. Final last cut, our number 5 cut is going to be, or our number 5 space is going to be a number 2. It's at the spacing of 17.55. And a depth of 6.45. Show you what that looks like here. 17.55. I'm actually going to bring that up a little bit here. I was going to cut a little low on accident. So 17.55. It's our spacing. 6.45, 6.5. Went back 2. So we'll get that last one cut. We'll show it in the lock. Alright guys, there's our key. I'm not a fan of these sharp edges here, so I'm going to take a file and knock some of those off. It's nothing crazy. Just take a little rat tail file and kind of get those edges and points off. Help it'll go into the lock a lot smoother. So let's go ahead and try it in our lock. Here's the lock. Let's get that code in there so you can see it. H4725. And there we go, guys. You show that straight on. See how it's a little tight going in there? That's what I mean about the points. Just helps to take them off. So we got a full functioning key there. Probably hit it with the file once or twice more. Make it smoother. Let me do that real quick. Yeah, it comes out a lot easier now. Now this will be in a mailbox. It'll be in a position like that. You know, it'll only turn the one way for unlock, and then you pull it out in the lock position. So there you go, guys.